prices rose by 22% in a boom period between 2016 and mid-2017. In Seattle, the median home price rose by $400,000 between 2012 and 2018. The collision of high prices and limited supply is most acute in coastal cities, but it extends across the country. Utah, a state whose largest city has a little more than 200,000 people, created a Commission on Housing Affordability in 2018 to address the state's affordable housing gap. In desirable enclaves like Asheville, North Carolina, or Burlington, Vermont, monthly rental costs rival those of Miami and Boston, but average salaries don't. Not surprisingly, the lack of housing choices and the prevalence of exclusionary housing regulations, such as minimum lot sizes and required off-street parking for each household, have made housing grow more expensive, decade over decade. Wages have not kept up with housing costs. In 1988, the typical sale price of a single-family home was 3.2 times the median household income. By 2017, the ratio was 4.2. That same year, nearly 38 million American households were cost-burdened, paying more than 30% of their income on rents and mortgages. Unaffordable housing is not just a problem for those struggling to pay off a mortgage or even for those who are locked out of home ownership and its financial upside. It is a societal problem. Studies show that the high cost of housing is driving widening inequality in the United States, serving as an obstacle to economic mobility, especially for young people and people of color. Home ownership divides the country along stark racial lines. In 1950, when 89.5% of Americans classified themselves as white, people of color were legally or extra-legally prohibited from purchasing housing in many neighborhoods through redlining and restrictive covenants. And now, when white Americans are trending toward minority status, only 44% of African Americans are homeowners, compared with 65.1% of all Americans and 73.7% of whites in the fourth quarter of 2019. Not one of the 100 cities with the largest black populations has closed this home ownership gap, and only 3 cities, Killeen, Texas, Fayetteville, North Carolina, and Charleston, South Carolina, have a gap of less than 20%. To this day, the neighborhoods that were subject to redlining decades ago are still more prone to poverty. Given that home ownership is a significant means of growing wealth in this country, economic disparities between whites and people of color are inevitable. Unaffordable housing also comes with serious mental and physical health ramifications. High housing costs often result in trade-offs, where families skimp on food and medical attention in order to pay the rent. An examination of the studies tracking the health effects of the 2008 foreclosure crisis found that experiencing a foreclosure, and even living near foreclosures, was associated with elevated levels of anxiety, depression, and violent behavior. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, published a study looking at the link between the housing crisis from 2005 to 2010 and suicide. The study directly linked 1 to 2% of suicides to foreclosure and eviction. The CDC report noted that some 68% of counselors working with clients to mitigate foreclosure found that many or almost all of their clients appeared depressed or hopeless. There are also adverse health effects associated with sprawling single-family suburbanization, including lower rates of walking and social interaction. While there may have once been an urban health penalty of a shorter lifespan, it hasn't applied for decades, when confounding factors such as race and income are controlled for. Today, life expectancy decreases as level of virality increases. Moreover, loneliness is becoming more common and being taken more seriously as a threat to physical and mental health. Studies have shown a link between loneliness and risk of stroke, high blood pressure, and cognitive decline. One study even suggested that loneliness is as lethal as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. There are environmental consequences to single-family housing as well. At a time when the country is grappling with how to address the dangers of climate change and debating the possibility of a Green New Deal, the inefficiency of single-family homes can no longer be